Hello, friends and family from around the world. This is Mike with Daily Events Worldwide, and we are on December 4th, 2023. Welcome to another surviving day on the planet. Welcome to the Daily Do, giving you your space weather update, as well earthquakes, volcanoes, and world weather. Starting out here looking at our sun for the past 48 hours, brought to you by Solar Dynamics Observatory. Watching in the last few images, just below the equatorial region, left side of that big coronal hole, we did just see a strong C-class solar flare, that bright flash in the last image there. Having a look at the last 48 hours incoming, nothing major to report. We had a couple CMEs from that activity on the left-hand side, not Earth-facing though. Outgoing, pretty active sunspot regions turning away. Big coronal hole Earth-facing. Here's a close look at that most recent C-class solar flare, just on the left-hand side of it. Having a look at multi-spectrum, pointing out the last 48 hours of events. Most notables, C-class solar flares. And as well, that huge elongated coronal hole. 171 angstroms here. This is where we can really see the heliosphere of our sun. Amongst the 8 sunspot regions that we have visible right now. And we're lucky we've only seen that one strong M-class solar flare. Heads up, because all these spots do come around again. 8 sunspot regions right now, 2 of them very big. Another light here, just some amazing images. Current space weather conditions, there are none to report, except for, of course, the increased solar winds. Tomorrow we're expecting overnight tonight, a G2 moderate geomagnetic storm, and that is from the coronal hole wind stream. Solar winds are still coming in over 500 kilometers per second, sitting at 550 right now, just showing the last 24 hours since the beginning of that coronal hole wind stream. And it pretty much came right after our space weather event from the other day, where our KP index was at 7. Solar X-ray flux here showing a couple strong C-class solar flares. Most recent one was Earth-facing. Going to have to wait for updated data. Geomagnetic activity sitting at KP2. Aurora forecast. Minor probability tonight across the northern hemisphere. Not too much to show in the southern hemisphere right now. Having a look here at the Space Weather Prediction Center spiral, showing the most recent CME. This was posted yesterday. Maybe give us a glancing blow. And then here with ISWA showing a couple pulse CMEs taking off towards Mercury. Still the same data from yesterday. Now let's have a look at Alaska 2, showing the last 48 hours of events, and as well the multiple CMEs, and most recently that C-class solar flare did produce a flash. We'll have to wait for the rest of the images here. We may have a coronal mass ejection coming from that. Right now, we just don't know. It's still early. Now let's get to earthquakes, as we've still got these earthquakes rocking the Philippines right now. There's about 60 in the region that they're reporting for the past 24 hours. USGS is reporting just over 240. 4.9 just recently there, Papua New Guinea. Deepest earthquake today, 4.5, 531 kilometer depth, Fiji region. This is our normal deep earthquake region. Also activity yesterday, Marianas Trench, and as well Izu Islands. Notable 4.7 there, South Indian Plate. 5.2 earthquake here reported Pakistan, and as well a 5.1 in Mandania, Turkey. South American Plate, not much activity today. Guadalupe, the Leeward Islands, 4.4 magnitude, subduction zone heads up through the region. United States, minor swarm here occurring Texas, Mexico City border, and as well 3.5 there reported Big Pine, California, and British Columbia, Canada, reporting a 3.2. That's right around Mount Baker. Alaska, 4.8 there, Adak, Alaska. And as I said, just about 250 earthquakes the past 24 hours. Let's have a look at the last 7 days for shakers around the world. Most of them have been in the Philippines just in the past 3 days. So lots of booms coming out of Philippines right now. And all the most recent activity at Marianas Trench. I was noting it because I knew something was coming. Didn't know where it would slip, but towards the Banda Sea and the Philippines makes sense now. All this increased activity up into China. Heads up, our world is changing right before our eyes, everybody. Hashtag no fear here. Prayers to everybody affected worldwide. Now let's get to the most recent volcanoes getting updated. Of course, we've got Merapi in Indonesia, Ibu in Indonesia, Santa Maria, Guatemala, Krakatoa, Indonesia, Sabancaya in Peru, Fuego, Guatemala. Lots of flood alerts here with the PDC. Got Reventador in Ecuador, Sangay in Ecuador, Nevadas de Ruiz, Colombia. It's a lot of volcanoes getting updated today, and quite a few newly awakened recently as well. Shiveluch in Russia, Luitolo, Indonesia. Large eruption at Merapi, 2 days straight reported there. And not much has changed in the SO2 models, which I'll be showing just momentarily. Hang in there, looking here at the satellite imagery around the world. Atmospheric river stretched across the Gulf and eastern United States and Canada. The same thing is happening across the Pacific right now, and all this moisture is piling into BC, Washington State, and as well southward through Oregon. Strong low pressure systems there. Lots of moisture. We've got a cyclone developing around the New Caledonia region and Fiji, heading southward towards Australia. We've got Tropical Cyclone Magog raking up the eastern seaboard of India. And multiple systems getting ready to pile into Europe as well over the next few days. Let's have a look at the SO2 forecast for the next 3 days. Brought to you by windy.com. Big plume through Popocatépetl, Mexico region. As well, lots of SO2 coming off of the Aleutian Islands and across the Pacific from Kamchatka. Overlooking the rest of the planet. Not much there in the south. Just wanted to give a little glance. Big plume coming from Mount Etna in Italy, as she had a large eruption the other day. All that SO2 is now creeping across Russia. Then overlooking the Atlantic, Europe, Africa, a little bit of South America. Active and erupting volcanoes around the world. I do believe we're sitting at 39 last I counted. Now let's get to weather here, brought to you by windy.com. Showing precipitation models. Low pressure systems bringing rain, high pressure bringing dry air. Big, strong, windy lows heading into Ireland and the UK this week. Multiple systems, got about 3 or 4 of them grinding into your coastline. So heads up, gray days across Europe, and cold temperatures are going to be moving in from the east as well. Stay tuned. We'll give you a quick glance at a temperature forecast as well. Pretty big system here developing, as I said, over New Caledonia, heading south, and then is going to jot westward here. So it looks like these forecast models are showing it making landfall a little bit more northern than the forecast models yesterday. And then overlooking the Pacific Ocean, still some very big systems organized. One of them is going to be bringing days upon days of rain and snow across the BC coastline and Alaska. And it will be piling up, even in the long range. All following the same line. Atmospheric river of moisture penetrating the west coast of the United States and Canada. Having a look here over North America, high pressure ridges moving in, lots of Gulf air, so we're going to see some above normal temperatures across eastern Canada, especially Ontario. Not going to see any major system until probably the 10th into the 11th, and that's pretty much the same time that the cold temperatures start to fuel down. Let's have a look at here the temperature forecast for the next few days across North America. You can see big purple blob coming in over Northwest Territories. We'll make it far south as Northern Ontario and then move eastward into Quebec. But then this big cold blob coming from Russia. Watch as that really starts to invade Eastern Europe and as well down into the Arab states. You guys are going to be having some extremely cool nights and quite possibly some extreme weather events from these clashes of extreme cold and extreme heat. This is a look at our upper level winds illustrating our polar vortex right now as it fuels down all of that northern polar air. Strong upper level winds, some areas seeing as fast as 375 kilometers per hour. This is what it looks like during the winter time, north versus south. Just a quick glance. Thanks everybody for watching today. Hope you enjoyed the show. Stay aware and prepared, stay young and have fun, and get your daily dew. Bye-bye now. If you enjoyed today's video, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with your friends and family from across the world.